Welcome to EPG Pathshala. In the paper Web Application Development using PHP, in the last sessions I have covered about introduction to web application developments, what softwares are required to develop web applications, and then I consider about then I have discussed about HTML. We have learned about HTML tags, attributes like P, then we consider how you can use image, hyperlink and table. In my today's session, I am going to deliver a topic on HTML form and cascading style sheet. HTML form is required because for dynamic web application, input get from user. So user will enter some value in HTML form and this value as a pass to web server in HTTP response. So let's discuss how form works. So if you look at, then there is a common gateway interface or CGI interface architecture. So in web server there is a data processing software and common gateway interface, and these two are communicate with each other within the web server, and then CGI communicate through HTTP protocol, and this protocol is used in internet, and this internet via HTTP protocol is communicated with user's computer. So the input provided by user is get by web server through CGI. Now if I talk about HTML form, so if you look at the general syntax of HTML form, so it will be started with form tag and close with /form tag. Form has a basic 5 elements which are supported by major browser. Of course, as HTML works, but different browser supports different types of features, means most of are common, but some features supported by only some types of browser. So it would be great idea to look at all the major browsers, which functionality provided by which browser. So the 5 basic elements which provides by form is input, select, text area and button. The form element is considered as a container because other control is within that form container, and many attributes can be described that how form data will be handled. The form's attributes are action, method, target and encryption type, means ENC type. So action is actually used to describe the script name for processing data passed by the form. Method is the which HTTP method is used to submit form data. The value can be either get or post. Target is specify the target window or frame where the result of script will be displayed. It takes value like _blank, _parent or _self. And encryption type is the encryption type when the data are passed to the form. The possible value can be multipart /form -data or application /xww form URL encoded. If you look at the example, then within that form you can write form opening tag, action is equal to script name in inverted comma generally you write, and method is equal to method name which can be get or post. Let's create inputting objects by input tag. So input tag define many types of form input objects, and the type attribute specify which type of input object we are using. This can be text, password, radio button, checkbox, drop down box or list box, submit button, reset button, or any image or file, etc. So let's start one by one. First let me explain about the text and password. So let me type once again my code. So if you look at here, then I have just opened Notepad as I have used to use writing code for HTML. So let me open my Notepad. So in the Notepad, as usual, first I have to type HTML and closing HTML tag. Then within HTML, opening of body tag and closing of body tag, and then I should write form. As right now I don't use any action or method, I not specify, I just specify form. Then let me, for example, I can write, let's say username, and then you can type username. So for that you can type input type is equal to text, because it is text box. Another good attribute is name. Name is we can say required attribute, because when you coding this, the name you provide in name attribute that you are using for dynamic web application. So I provide name is equal to, let's say for example, user. Of course you can provide value as well, but this is compulsory thing. Then I use br tag and write password. Then again I write input type is equal to password and name is equal to pwd. Let me just save this file, save as. I have created one folder in HTML as a form, HTML form or simply form, and inside form let me create this one as a, I give it name 1 and text dot html. I save this file. So if you look at here, within this HTML folder, within the form it will be one text file. I can open in my browser Firefox. So if you look at this browser, it will be display username and password. In username I can type username or any value, say here, and to view it clearly let me zoom it so you can get clear idea. So it here in password it will be displayed as a bullet, though I can type anything, so it is not visible to user. So generally password or any sensitive information like PIN or your other data, that should be password type. So this is the by default look at that you can use this type of thing. You can optionally also provide value for this one. Say for example, if I type value is equal to, let's say here I have already typed, so let me type Joshi, my surname. I save this one and let me reload it. Okay, I have to reopen it again. I have to open one text and open. So look at the value I have typed, that will be always there. If I don't specify it, then it will not display it. I just show you. Save this file by removing this value. Now refresh. If I provide that value, then it will display. If I type value is here and save this, then it will work. So this is input type and text. Other attributes you can use with type text is size is equal to, let's say for example 6, and max length is, let's say 10. So what does it mean? That initially the size of your text box is generally 6 character long, and maximum it can occupy 10 character. Let me refresh this page. So look at here. Now if I want to type it, I can type A B C D E F G H I J. Look at, I can type only 10 characters, right? Of course it depends on the font size as well, but generally if you look at, there are only 6 character available. But G H I J, now though I type K L M N, it will be not type it, because the maximum length I define for my this text box is 10 character. So this is the type and password. Third one, you can use type is equal to hidden. So this hidden is used to pass the value from one form to another form when you are using HTML. For that you can use input type is equal to hidden. So this is about text box and this too. Then you can use checkbox. So in that the same form, let me enter or I can create new form, but let me enter new value. Let's say for example input type is BR and I choose gender to specify gender. Then I have to write input type is equal to radio, name is equal to gender, value is equal to male, and another input I define input type is equal to radio, name is equal to gender, and value is equal to female. Okay, to give idea about why name is required and same for radio button, I just remove this name attribute here. Then I will explain why you require it. So value is this too, I just save this one. And why this is known as a radio button, because though there are many options available, you can choose any one option. It is very similar analogy that if you have very good radio, it can support many station like FM. So there are maybe 8 or 10 station available, but at a time you can listen only one frequency FM station. So same way, though there are many options available, you can select any one. That's why it is known as a radio button. Sometimes it is also known as a option button. So let me save this. Now I refresh this page. So I have to type here the value, and then I type male and female. So I save this file and now refresh it. Okay, where is it? Okay, I have to type BR. Type is male, and then I have to use BR. Okay, I not provide space here, that's why it shows error. Otherwise BR is not required. So let me save this one. So if you look at here now, it will be male and female and no value is selected. Now if you don't provide name in any of that radio button, you can choose male as well as female both value. So this is not behave as a radio button. To behave as a radio button, you must provide name value, and that must be same to what are the number of radio buttons you are using. Here I am using 2 radio buttons, so 2 have the same name. If I define gender, then here I also must have to define name is equal to gender. If I define another name, then again it will be not behave as a radio button. Let me show you first this one. Now if I select male and female, then this will be deselected. So now it is working as a radio button. Even if I provide gender 1 and save this one, then it is also not work as a radio button, though there is not any selected. The name is different, so it will be behave that way. So keep in mind that name must be same when you use radio button. If you want to select anyone by default, because generally in radio button anyone is by default selected, so in case a user not select any option, the by default option will always selected. Say for example, so here I can write checked is equal to true, or you can write checked is equal to checked. Save this one. So now look at here, by default male is selected, right? Okay, I have to reload that form. I save this one and let me reopen that file, because it will be saved in history. That's why it may behave that way. So now it will be select male only. Of course you can select female now, but by default it is male. So this is the check, you can check any value. Then another option is checkbox. Checkbox allow to make multiple selection. You can select 0, 1, 2 or whatever options you have available. Say for example, if I type hobbies, so hobbies can be anything. Let me put one BR here so you get idea, and then I use input type is equal to checkbox, name is equal to, let me write reading, value is equal to reading, and also reading. Another one is I just need to copy paste that. Input type is equal to checkbox, name is equal to, let's say, playing any game or cricket. Let's say I write here simply playing, and I want to display as a playing cricket. and you can write listening music. So I write here listening, value is listening, and I want to display this one as a listening music. So let me save this one. If I refresh my page, so this is checkbox. I can select any one, any two, all these three, or none of them. So this is the checkbox. For checkbox, it is not compulsory to give the same name value, but of course sometimes you may require to use this name as an array. Like say for example, you would like to choose topping for an ice cream. So ice cream topping, as you can consider one array that I will take later when I discuss about array and everything. But for instance, you can remember that for radio button the name must be same for that particular group of options, and for checkbox it can be different values. So this is about checkboxes. Then you can create two buttons. These are two special buttons which is available in most of this form. These are submit button and reset button. When you click on submit, then the value provided in that particular form is passed to the server via internet to the web server or through HTTP protocol. Say for example, to create submit button you can use input type is equal to submit, name is equal to submit. Of course you can write the name what you like, but generally submit, and you can use value is equal to submit or whatever other name you can write, you can prefer, and input type is equal to reset, name is equal to reset, and value is equal to reset. Let me save this file and refresh this one. So you can get these are the submit button and reset button, right? So in reset it will be clear the resetted value. Right now here I provide value is hidden. If I not provide anything and save this file, just refresh this one, and now if I type anything, let's say for example Akhil, this value, this one, and reset, so it will be set default value for me, and submit will use to submit that value. You can look at this address bar of browser. When you submit any value, let's say for example if I write here and click on submit, so look at here, it will be passed the value by question mark and then the name you provide, because for username I provide name is user and password is this, gender is this, and reading is reading, and submit is submit. So these are the two buttons which are used most of HTML forms. Then we have to use hidden. I have taken example. You can use type as a button also if you want to use any another type of button. Say for example I write br input type is equal to button, name is equal to calculate, value is equal to calculate, and calculate. So I save this one. Let me refresh this one. So in fact I don't need to write here calculate, I either have to provide just value, so that value will be considered. So I save this file and refresh this page. So this is calculate button. So this is another option that you can use with that one. Then you can use image attribute also. Let me show you how you can use image in form. You can use image, it is similar to our HTML tag, or you can write input type is equal to image, source is equal to any pictures we have available. Let me add some pictures. I have this images, so let me create this, desert here copy, so I don't need to provide path, right? So I just paste it here, desert.jpg. So let me just write desert.jpg and save this one. So if I refresh this one, so look at here, of course I need to define here width and height for make this button as a working. So I provide 100 pixel each. Of course, as I said, it is not necessary that must be the same value, width and height, but for simplicity I give this value, or you can take less value by providing any value. So this is image type, and next one is file. So when you working, you have seen that to upload a file there is a option available, a text box and a button, and when you click on that button, browse button, it will be open the any explorer here, and you can choose any file. So you can also use this one by, let me write br choose file to upload. So you can write input, and here the type is file. You can provide name is equal to any name. Let me just save this one. Look at here, it will be just show you the display of that, right? Choose file to upload, and right now you have browse. When you click on browse, it will be open your anything which will be available to you, but of course it provide only GUI. To upload any file you have to write code that I will later explain when I explain about PHP. So this is, you can use this type is equal to file, this one. You can define check and multiple. So for that, let me say there is another option available. After this hobbies, let me enter, let's say for example, select your preferences, and there are many cities available. So for that you have to use select element, which will be allow you to select any option from that. So you can use select. If you want to prefer name, you can prefer name is equal to city and slash select, opening and closing tag, and then you can write option. Let's say for example first option is Ahmedabad. Again you can write option Rajkot slash option is Rajkot, option is Surat slash option is Baroda, and option is Bhuj slash option. So this 5 city I have added here. I just save this one and refresh this page. So look at here. Okay, I provide one more BR to make my view very clear to you. I just provide BR, so submit and reset button is after that selection. So if you look at here, so look at this is drop down box, because you can select any one value from that boxes. You can select any one city and it will be at a moment like show only one text. If you want to use as a list box, then you can use size is equal to 3. So now the height of that drop down box or list box is up to 3 cities, as you can see here. But though there are 3 cities, at a time you can select only one city. If you want to select multiple city, then you can write multiple is equal to multiple. So this multiple attribute allows you to select multiple values from the list box. I can choose Rajkot, Ahmedabad, Surat. Have I saved this file? I have to save this one and refresh this one. Now I can select Ahmedabad, Rajkot. You have to press Ctrl key and Bhuj, or you can use drag and drop of that mouse and holding down Ctrl key and select any of this city. So this is select is used to allow you either as a working as a drop down or list box. The very simple use of drop down, you have seen that when you enter your date of birth, so it will be asking your date, month and year. So at that time you can select anyone, and this control is as a part of web designing you should use whenever possible. The reason is that if user has to select rather than enter, the chances are very less to make any error, because he has to select from the options available by developer or you. So this is this one. Then you can grouping and options also. Let's say for example, if I make copy paste this one and let me create new file. So I create file new, and I just need to write HTML and /HTML body and /body, and inside that I can use form and /form and provide this select, and then I write OPT group, label is cold drink, and then option and value. So now I select this one and save this one as a save as, either write in double quote or to OPT group dot HTML. Save this one. Let me open this one, file, open. So this one you can see cold drinks as a Sprite and Maaza, hot is tea and coffee, because I provide that value. Here you can write select name or whatever you like, you can provide this one, but this is the option group that allow you to provide cold drinks and anything of that one. Same way you can use, look at there, that will be should look like this, right? I haven't provided any, I think, space here for label, as it is differently works for different browser. But let me select this one, and now let me show this. So now it will display cold drinks and hot beverages. Even you can remove this inverted comma, so you get idea. As I copy paste, it will be displayed differently, but it is always good idea to provide inverted comma. As I copied it, it will be converted as a text rather than this simple double quote, because I copied from PowerPoint to this one. So now look at here, it will display cold drinks and hot beverages. So this is for group options. You can create field set and legend to create grouping. If you use this, it will be like, say for example, field set, personal detail, and then provide that. So it will be like frame, you can see in this figure. Or let me copy paste for you this one. I just select this text, paste it inside the form. After select, put 2 line blank and field set, and within the field set you can provide legend, personal detail, and then input type, whatever input type you like. So you save this one, and if you check it here, so it will be like frame, personal detail, and whatever other things you provided here. So this is your field option. You can also use table to work with that. Let me open our first file. I open my first file here, that we give name as a one text. So if you just look at here in our browser also, so the formatting is not look very good. Let's say for example, if instead I use this form, inside that form I can use table. Inside table I can use table row, then table definition and /td, then td, then /td, then again I have to use /tr and create new table row. So I write tr, then in tr the first column I provide password, in the next column provide this input box for password. So I save this one. If you look at here, so look at here, username and password I provide in table. It will be provide very good look. I have to close table also, slash table. So look at, it will be much formatted way. So it is always good option that when you use form, you can write that element within the table, but to load a table, it will be take some more time. And now cascading style sheet is available for formatting option. This is no one is prefer. Cascading style sheet instead of that will be used for form. So next part is CSS. CSS stands for cascading style sheet. Though HTML provide formatting, but to make formatting more consistent, cascading style sheet is used. There are version 3 is available, CSS 3 nowadays, but CSS 2 is also supported by most of this browser. Cascading style sheet general syntax, if you look, then first you have to write selector, then write curly braces, and into curly braces you can write property, colon, value and semicolon. Another property, colon, value and semicolon means this property value pair is separated by comma, and you can provide as many property value as you like. For example, the selector can be for paragraph P, you can write P, color is red and text align is center. Now CSS mainly three types of working. These are external style sheet, internal style sheet and inline or embedded style sheet. External means you create one CSS file as an external file and you just use it in your HTML page. Internal is that within your HTML page you can write is within the head section, and inline or embedded means within that tag you are writing this. Let me demonstrate by example. First of all, let me start with external style sheet. So let me create one file here. Let me type here HTML. Now it is always inside the head section, so I have to use head and close the head tag, and now I can provide link relation is equal to style sheet, type is equal to text or CSS, and h reference is a name. Let's say for example, let me create one style sheet style.css. So I haven't created, but I will create it. And after head, let me create body and write this is body using style sheet. Of course, even if I like, I can use title here also. Let me write title external style sheet demo / title. Then I have to close this body. Now save this one, file, save as. Let me save as a create new folder as CSS. Inside that I save this one as a external dot HTML. I want to save as a HTML, so I write this one. We called it first as to give convention one external dot HTML. So I save this one. Now I have to create one file with the name style.css. So I will create one file, file new, and I want to save this one as a file, save as style.css as a CSS file. So I save this one, and now into that I write body. So this is my selector. Now within the curly braces I will provide property. The property is background hyphen color colon, its value is, let's say, red, semicolon. This is very simple, my external style.css file. So this is my style.css file, and you can see it, the other file I want to use this style sheet in one external. Here I write style.css. So let me open that file. Go to the file in browser, open file in HTML, CSS, one external. so it will be make your background is red. Now you can use this style.css file for any HTML page. You just need to provide that link and relation. Now let us write code for internal style sheet. So just to shorten the code, copy paste the code, create new file, and here I write inside head after title is optional. Of course I can remove, if I want I can remove it, or I would like to write, I can write, and let me give title is internal style sheet demo. Here I can write style type is equal to text or oblique CSS, and then I write here, I have to close the style tag as well. Inside that let me write body, and in the same way, or not body, let me write for P, for paragraph I can write background color is say green, semicolon. Let me define for H1 as well. So for H1 I can define background hyphen color is, let's say, magenta color, semicolon. So this is the internal style. Now inside body I write this. Now let me write P and write this is, let's say for example, bold. Then I write H1, this is H1, this is use of H1, again BR, right? Now save this one, file, save as, and I would like to save it this one as a to internal.html. Save this one. To see the effect of this one, let me open our file. So I open it to internal. So look at here, it is written that H1 is magenta color and here background color is green. I don't provide that double quote here. I save this one. So look at here, the background color for this P, when I write anything in P, so it will be take, this background color is green. If I define body instead of P, if I define here for body, so then the whole body background color is green. You can just see the difference. Look at here. So this is the use of internal style sheet. So that will be available for one page. Majority of user use external style sheet. The reason is that once you created it, and then you can use multiple times. If there are, let's say, 10 pages, so you just need to provide that link to external style sheet, and you want to change something, you need to change in just one file, then it will be reflected on all the other files. And the last one is inline or embedded style sheet. So let me give demo of this one also. To shorten the code, I just use copy paste the same code, type this one, and don't need to write anything in head or anywhere, even don't require head as well. If you prefer, you can write head, of course, and inside head let me write title inline style sheet slash title, and then I can provide, let me say for example, body style is equal to, then I can write background color is, let me write blue. I can write font size is 24 point and color is silver. So I save this one, file, save as, and I save this file as a 3 and inline.html. HTML. Save this one. Let me open this one. Go to the file, open into my browser inline. So look at here, the background is blue and the font is silver color. So this is the use of inline style sheet. Now you might wondering what other you can do with style sheets. So I quickly go through it. You can check that this is general syntax. Now there are many selectors available: element, class, ID or grouping. Element is same like we are using P, body, H1, etc. Like say for example here I provide P, text align is center and color is red. Then for class you have to write dot and any class name. Right, say for example here I provide dot center is this and color is this. To let me demonstrate very quickly, I just open created one file CSS demo there. You can look at here that say for example if I provide about that element selector. So if you look at the code here in Notepad, so here I provide it and let me open it. I just go to the file, open file in HTML and in CSS demo. If I open element selector, so look at there in element selector I have written that text align is center and color is red. So this whenever you use paragraph, it will be written in center alignment and color is red. In the similar way, to open with class, you can use this class selector. So it is written as a dot center and text align is center and blue. So whenever you write class, you write H1 class is this, H class is this, and if you open this, so it will work that for particular class that way. Of course you can also write class with specific selector. Say for example if I provide here P dot center, so whenever I use P and class is equal to center, then only that it will be applied, otherwise not. So it is I use internal style sheet to give demo. Text align center, color is red, and if we look at that code, so to open that file, class specific selector, so look at here the only where P and class is written, and then it will be used red and center align. Otherwise H1 I simply write class, but it is not red color. So this is that way you can provide. Another is you can use ID selector. So ID selector is to provide identification to any particular elements. For that hash is used. You can write for example here write para 1 text align center color is red, and then you write P ID is para 1, then it will be written that way. But if you write simply P, this paragraph is not affected. And if we see here in our browser, so you can check it that only that particular hello word is affected here, this simple P is not affected. So this is about ID selector. Now if you apply multiple style sheet, let me show you here. Say I apply all these three style sheet: external, internal and embedded. First I write link relation is style sheet, type is text or CSS, and my reference is mystyle.css. Let me show you mystyle.css as well. I open with Notepad. So their background color is light blue and H1 is color navy and margin left is 20 pixel. And in that after multiple style sheet, then I use inline style sheet. After style color H1 color is orange, and then in the embedded I write H1 style is color is yellow. So here I apply all these three style sheet. So which one is working? Let me open this one, file, open, and multiple style sheet. Of course we use all these three style sheet. First we use external, then inline and then embedded. So here it is known as a cascading. So here this is heading is inline is yellow color, that will be affected because it is yellow. If I remove this one, or I can provide comment into it. To write comment in HTML you can use this symbol exclamatory sign and hyphen. Let me save this. So now we have external and internal style sheet. So I save this file and refresh my page. So now it will be, should be orange color. Okay, where I have put that, style color is yellow. Inside body, the style of document is, okay, I haven't write HTML here, let me write H1 here, H1 for testing /H1, save this file and refresh this one. So form testing is now written as a orange color because internal is this one and external is this one. That means external is override by internal and internal is override by your inline tag. That's why it is known as a cascading style sheet. So these are all our various option for class ID. You can use grouping also, like for H1, H2 and P, you want to apply all this three common format, text align is center and color is red, you can write that. So let's summarize our today's lecture. First we discuss about HTML form and what are the various input available with HTML form. Then we discuss about style sheet. There are mainly three types of style sheet: external, internal and inline. And of course you can use selector as well as element, means selector or any elements, then class type, ID and grouping type of thing with CSS. I hope you enjoyed. These all are references I am using. Of course there are many other references available that you can use to learn that. I hope you enjoyed this lecture.